In part one of our kitchen makeover, we did all the prep work for painting, and then we did 2 coats of our primer, and then we went ahead and got into the fun colors. We did this agreeable gray on most of the walls and in the top here in the dining room, and then we also did a beautiful green color over here in the dining room section. This one is called Dried Thyme, and it's a really pretty color, so calming. And then to finish off the video, we went ahead and removed all this backsplash, and then we left you where we were painting this trim. Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our kitchen makeover. I am so glad you joined us again, and I hope you enjoyed this one as much as you did the first part. If you have not seen part 1, you'll want to go ahead and watch that one as well, because it kind of brings you up to speed here. We are starting off the video today putting up this backsplash, and this is just a peel and stick. It was super easy to put on, and it has kind of a stone look. And I really loved how this finished off the backsplash here behind the cabinets. It was also super easy to cut. It just cut with a scissors, and then you just peeled off the backing and stuck it on, and it came together really nicely. I did have to piece a top portion. It wasn't quite tall enough to go all the way up to the cabinets, which worked out fine. It was not hard to get this patched up at all. So that is what we're working on in the first part of today's video. And you'll want to stay until the very end of the video. I will be showing some clips of this kitchen and dining area before and after this makeover, and you won't want to miss them. Alright, now we are moving on to our trim. We are going to start here with the baseboards, and I painted these the same green color as the wall above it, just so it would blend in and make it look more like a custom wall. And I'm glad I did decide to do it this way. So we're going to just go ahead and get this put up, and I'm using my heart finish nailer to do this. And I cannot believe the difference that it made in just putting the baseboard down. The kitchen and dining room never did have any baseboard ever since we moved in. It just wasn't here. We had always planned on putting some in, just never got around to doing it. So this feels super satisfying, and it looks so much better to have this done. I had to go ahead and just cut off a little portion of this quarter round here around the cabinets to get our trim to fit in there correctly. And then we'll also be adding this smaller piece of trim up top. So I'm just fitting this underneath this little window here so that fits in there perfectly. And then I'll go ahead and paint this top trim piece the green as well. So now we're just putting up the top round. This is also a 1x4, same as the baseboard. So we'll go ahead and put this around the top portion of our where we had painted green. Alright, now that our top piece and our baseboard is on, we're going to start with some details, and I decided I want a little bit of detail here in the center, and we're just adding in some trim pieces, and I'm just making sure that they are straight. I'm using my phone. There's a level on my phone that I'm just using to make sure that the pieces are straight. And I thought this would just add a little bit of interest to the wall, and I love how it turned out. It just adds that little touch that I had wanted. Next morning, we're going to go ahead and just get my coffee drink made before we start with some more trim. I didn't get everything done in one day, and that was okay. I'm just taking my time, kind of doing it as I can and when I have time. So we're just going to keep going here with our trim pieces here in the middle, getting everything straight. And basically I'm just adding 2 trim pieces like butted up next to each other to create one piece of trim. I couldn't find exactly what I'd wanted at the hardware store, so I'm just adding 2 together. And then I'm doing 2 strips kind of beside each other, like 4 inches apart, to make kind of our pattern. And then I'm just kind of centering it in each wall, just kind of seeing what would look best on each wall and then measuring it out that way. Once we have all of our trim pieces up, now comes the time to kind of do the finishing, the caulking, making sure everything is perfect, and getting all the cracks and the crevices filled in with caulk and wood filler, just to give it that nice seamless look when we're done. And then we'll of course come back and go over everything with a good coat of paint. And we're just filling some more nail holes and getting everything filled before we do a nice sand, just getting that wood filler sanded down to smooth before we do that next coat of paint. And because I put two pieces of trim together here, all of these seams needed some wood filler and then of course a good sand to get them nice and smooth and look like one cohesive piece. And then I'm also going to go ahead and change out all the switches, the plugins and things, and this is actually not really that hard to do. Definitely if you don't feel comfortable doing this yourself, get an electrician to do this for sure. I just went ahead and did it myself. Make sure you turn off the breaker and that type of thing, and then just switch out the wires to the new switches and plugs. I did have one tricky one. It was a three-way, so it was a little trickier to do, but we got that one figured out as well. And I just think these switches just kind of freshened it up, and the nice white ones kind of fit in a little bit more with my style. Alright, and moving over to our green wall again, I'm just going to go ahead and get everything swept up, get the walls cleaned off before I start painting. And I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth to different projects here as I'm going, but just kind of, again, doing things as I have time. So yeah, there was times I didn't have a lot of time, so I just kind of do what I could at the moment. And now we are moving on to painting. I did give it this coat, and then I think you'll see a little bit later on I did go ahead and do a second coat. I had to kind of go over a few places where it needed a little more wood filler, a little more caulk and things like that, and then we gave everything another good coat. And now I finally get to move all my plants out into the bay window again, just kind of make it feel more like home again. Get all this greenery out here. And we are moving on to doing some more electrical. Just here we are switching out all of the plugs. And again, just switching it out with these white ones. Alright, so we had a package come in the mail, and this will be the light for over the dining room table. Switching out this light over here. And I thought this one would be really pretty over here. It had some more lights, so hopefully it'll light it up a little bit better over in this area. And now I'm just going to work on putting it together before we go ahead and hang it up. And I will try to remember to link everything that I can for you in the description. If you're looking for anything in particular, check it out down there. Now to go ahead and get rid of this light, finally. I've been waiting for this day for a long time, so I can finally go ahead and take this light down. Again, making sure the breaker is off before we do anything. Just go ahead and remove the light and disconnect the wires. And the light worked, so that was great. And then we are moving over to the plugs over here behind like on top the backsplash. And I got these that had a USB plug. They're a little different than the others. And now is this final coat of paint over here, just touching up, making sure everything is perfect, getting all those little corners, making sure everything is coated really well. And then over in the kitchen side, we had some baseboard to put up, and over here it will just be the white. It'll still be like the 1x4, but it will be in white. And I did give it one coat of paint before I put it up, and then I'll go ahead and just give it caulk and get all the wood filler in, sand it down, and then I'll finish painting that. And now we are going to move on to just doing some decorating, getting everything back in order. Finally, I can have my kitchen back, and I can't believe what the difference is, how it looks out here. I cannot be happier with how everything turned out, and I'm so glad to have this done. So I hope you enjoyed today's video of part 2. We're going to leave the kitchen here as it is today. I still have some curtains that I want to hang up, but for the most part it is done for now. I just can't believe the before and afters. And to think that the most of this was just paint, some trim, some backsplash, and a new light. It makes such a difference, and I am loving how everything turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time. Bye.